All right, we're going to get started now. I can see quite a few people joining in still. It's great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us for this month's Spirit Commercial Fitness webinar. My name is Will. I am the marketing director for Spirit Commercial Fitness. And the webinar that you're joining today, just in case you don't know, is all about moving your personal training business into your home or garage. And it's something we are super excited about. I'm going to pull up our slideshow now for you. Let me just introduce you to our team real quick. Spirit Commercial Fitness, the team that puts together these webinars. This is Brent Brown, our Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Mateo Baker, he's our East Coast Regional Sales Manager. Myself, of course. The company we work for, the organizer of this company, Spirit Commercial Fitness, is a sub-brand of Diaco International, which you may have heard of. It has more than 30 years manufacturing commercial and personal fitness equipment. One of the things we're known for is our warranties and our service providers. We have a large network of service providers, and it's something that we've been growing in the United States, and it's been a great journey these past year, especially dealing with the pandemic. This webinar series is something we put together about 6 months ago that we started with the goal of helping people, many of them like you, possibly explore moving into the fitness industry or becoming a business owner in the fitness industry. Today, we're going to be talking about doing that at home, because we realize that for a lot of people, opening up in a much larger space may be out of reach, especially right now. And we think for a lot of people, doing it starting small may be the right way to begin. We have today with us Tito Raymond. He is a personal trainer based in Los Angeles, a very well-known personal trainer who has a pretty pretty impressive list of VIPs who he trains. Some of them you may recognize. We have them listed here. He actually goes way back with Mateo Baker, who we just saw, our East Coast Regional Sales Manager. They came up together in Golds. I'll let them talk more about that, but we're really excited to have him here. The reason that he's our guest speaker today is because he's someone who recently made the transition from the gym to their home, and it's an experience he speaks highly of. But he's going to kind of walk us through how he made that transition, talk about the pros, talk about the downsides, and our goal is just to give you as much information about that as we can. So let's bring Tito in, and Mateo's actually going to come in right now as well, and he's going to do this more of like an interview style, where he just kind of picks Tito's brain and asks him about how he made that transition. So let's get their cameras and microphones turned on. All right, should be seeing them soon. There's Mateo, and there is Tito, and look where he is, his home gym. It's great to see.
What's up, guys?
Cool. Well, hey, thanks so much for being here again. I'm gonna turn my camera off right now and let you guys go, because I think people probably want to get to the good stuff quickly.
Awesome. All right, can you guys see me? Is everything okay with as far as my video?
Okay, I can see you both. Awesome. No problem.
All right,
awesome.
You can see me too?
I can see you.
Yep.
I can see it. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Well,
Okay.
This is exciting and fun for me because of our history together and how long we've known each other, Tito. And it's weird to be in this position where I'm interviewing a friend, but I'm excited about it. And I think that I know that you have so much to offer all these folks that we've been working with. We've been doing this mentorship program here for a while. And what we're finding is a lot of them are trainers like yourself. And, we're fans of gyms. We love gyms. We're not pushing people out of gyms for sure. But we understand that some folks might want to branch out on their own. And some folks like yourself might have been forced into it. And we're going to kind of get into that. But first what I want to do is, if you don't mind, I'd like to start back a little bit and let folks get to know you a little bit, understand maybe a little bit of your fitness background. Then we can tell maybe a story or two about how we know each other. But yeah, if you don't mind, what's your background and how'd you get started in the fitness industry, Tito?
Well, I went to Springfield College, and I was a physical education major, and I started there. And my sophomore year in college, I started bodybuilding, and once I got the bug in competing, I didn't stop for 20 years, and so
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. And I was in Boston, and I knew that I wanted to be in Los Angeles. And it took me a couple of years, but I finally moved to Los Angeles in '99. And that's when I got to see you every day.
Yeah. It's funny because that's the year I started at the same gym you did there in Golds in Venice Beach. So
Yes.
I started '99 at that gym as well. So that's funny. We both came in the same year.
Yeah, and I had been visiting for like 6 years prior, and every time I'd come out and visit, I was always depressed when I had to leave. So there's no place better than Gold's Gym Venice in the world. I believe that's still.
Yeah.
And it was a great place.
Yeah. History and the energy and everything. I agree, and I mean, I think you and I could talk for days on just stories of that gym. I mean, and so I got to be careful that we don't do that. But I think what folks would like to hear though is, what was it about you? And I'm going to toot your horn because you are the kind of guy, and I know you well, would never do it. But one of the things that stuck out about you to me as a trainer is when I would see you in the gym, and I'm your buddy, and I was young and have a lot of fun and stuff in the gym. And if I was walking by you and I wanted your attention, I'm sorry, if you were with a client, you were just so focused, you stayed with that client, and you never moved away, and you gave them whatever their hour was, you were dedicated to them. And I want to know, is that a little bit of your secret sauce? I mean, what made you so successful?
I do believe that is a big part of it. I think that with so many other trainers to choose from in Los Angeles, that for a client to approach me and to choose me, I wanted to respect that, wholeheartly. And so whenever they had an appointment with me, they had my undivided attention for that 60 minutes. I know that there would be celebrities that would be walking around and people would say, "Oh, did you see J-Lo?" And I'd be like, "No, I didn't see J-Lo because I had my horse blinders on." And
I'm working.
And when I'm working, that's it. It's one-on-one, and we try to get the most of the 60 minutes.
Right. And so obviously from your background and the way your work ethic is, I mean, you don't miss your clients, you're there, you're focused on them. Is that what you believe is what brought you into, I mean, look, I mean, we had listed some of the folks that you're training. I mean, these people are, the VIPs of the VIPs. So, I mean, do you believe that that's probably what led you to that success?
I do. I think that the people do a lot of watching when they're at Gold's, and they watch everybody, and you can see everybody. And like I said, they've watched for many years, and they can pick and choose. They can pick anybody, but they watched me and they saw what I was doing, and they were like, you know what? I want a part of that. And then on the other hand, it's the end result. I think that I brought results to my clients. So when people see that, then they want part of it.
That's a great point. And that's why you probably, well, I know you, so this is why you've got a lot of referral business, right? So there's a lot of folks, across the United States that are watching this, right? And they might not be in a facility, obviously, like a Gold's Fitness, where they have famous people and things like that. But they could still use some of the same techniques, some of the same work ethics, right? Would you advise that?
Oh, 100%. Any trainers that are starting out, I advise, leave your phone you should never look at your phone. When you're training a client, that phone is either in your bag or your pocket. You can check it messages
Right.
later. While that person's with you for an hour, you give them what they're paying for, you know,
That's
and
right.
it's your undivided attention.
That's
You
right.
know, and,
Okay,
and with that undivided attention is energy. You know, like
Yeah.
they feed off of your energy. If you're sitting looking at your phone or eating food or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
they're not getting the most out of their hour.
That's right. That's
And
right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate that about that. Okay. So I know a little bit about your background, what brought you to LA, what's made you successful. And let's talk about 2020 and how
Oh,
that did the pivot, the change in your life. And really what this is about, this webinar is about,
yeah.
you went out on your own. Explain to me what
Yeah.
happened and what'd you do?
I can tell you the day and time. It was March 16th,
Wow.
2020. We were informed that Gold's Gym was closing down, and you know I can't live a day without working out, and so I've always had a home gym of some sort. And when I got the word that they were closing down and I wasn't going to be able to run my business and, you know, earn my income to feed my family,
Sure.
I called an audible. And I had a friend who had told me that they had a bunch of equipment in the garage that they didn't use. And I called them up and set a time to meet them at 7 o'clock in the morning on Monday. And we went to town, and it was hard labor for about 4 or 5 hours of lifting heavy equipment, putting it in the back of my
Sure.
truck. And then we brought it all back to my house and started unloading and placing it. And then the next day was the official day where we started killing it at the garage. And
Okay.
and then my at that point, some of my clients, they were starting to freak out, you know, and so I let them know. I said, listen, you don't have to stop. I have a full gym at my house. If you're willing to come, I'll wear a mask and gloves and whatever you want me to wear. And we can
Sure.
keep going. And so that Tuesday, I started, you know, started working my same schedule, but just out of my house.
Wow. Okay. So that was quite a transition. And then, so you were fortunate enough that your clients followed you over, and you set up your gym there at your facility. And then look, we're a year later, over a year later, and you're still
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
because you ended up liking it, huh?
It kind of was, I was forced in this position, kind of,
Right.
fortunately, because my clients loved it. That was the thing, is
Sure.
they really enjoyed the privacy. They enjoyed the time efficiency. Being at a gym, a bigger gym, there's a lot of distractions. There's you know, the time to drive to the gym, to find a parking spot, to walk to the
Right.
gym, to check in at the front desk, to go to the bathroom. There's so much extra. But when they
That's
come
right.
here, it's like we start from go, right? When they walk up the driveway, they enter the gym, we get at it, and for 60 minutes, it's nonstop. And I think that over
Right.
time, over this past year, that's the one common thing that I think that has made it more, like more efficient. And I think that
Right.
time efficiency is really big, and that they were getting more out of their hours, and they were getting in better shape. The results were coming, you know, faster.
Sure.
And
The
so,
one-on-one
you know,
attention, and especially at Gold's, there's a lot of distraction. People, and you have some of these high-end clients where people might want to talk to them, or even not
exactly.
high-end, just a regular guy. Somebody might
Yeah.
know him from down the street, you know,
Exactly.
and want to.
Yes.
So there's no interruptions.
None. Zero. Yeah. And they
Right.
and so and like I said, I was very lucky that the clients that I had were willing to take a chance and come here. And you know, of course, through the whole COVID process, you know, we had to make sure everything was clean and, you know,
Sure.
disinfected. And we had, you know, at the beginning, I was wearing a mask the whole time, and then
Sure.
and now it's like, you know, it's let up a little bit. You know, everybody's vaccinated, and You know, that
Sure.
that was one of the things that, I don't want to give a client COVID because another
Sure.
client came, and so those were kind of
Sure,
like
sure.
a little prerequisites that I had, just coming in here. I have a family, I have 2 boys, and I
Yeah.
don't want to infect them. And at
No,
first,
that's fair enough.
the wife was really, really harsh, and she would come out and ask tons of questions. And where have you
Yeah.
been? Where did you go? Who do you hang out with?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so
Sure.
it was just
No,
like
it
I
was a
said
tough
earlier.
year for everyone. It's a
Yeah.
tough year for everyone, and we all went through it in different ways. And so I absolutely get it, and more power to you for making that pivot. One thing I would like to ask you though is, because you were kind of touching on it, is about the economics. How did it economically, the finances, how did that change, and did it change for the better?
And here's one of the things that, I love golds. Like, I moved to California just because of golds. And
Right.
it was one of those things that, I had to make a decision. Am I going to go back to golds? Because they were waiting and they were asking, are you coming back? Are you coming back? And
Right.
and I said, I would love to come back, but it doesn't make any sense for me and my family for me to bring my business back to golds because
Sure.
of the rent. We pay rent to go there. And then on top of it, the drive time, something that I wasn't that aware of. I got a new truck, and it was $100 a week in gas just to go down
Wow.
there,
Wow.
down, back and
Yeah.
forth, for
Sure.
a week. And so when you go, that's $400 extra a month. And
Yeah.
so, the finances, just one thing on top of another, just got so big that it just
Right.
didn't make any sense for me to bring my business back to golds.
That's right. That's
And-
right. And I believe from talking to you prior, you even mentioned another aspect of the finances, and maybe you can let folks know about that, is that you didn't have to take on clients that maybe wasn't a good fit. And you don't have to mention names, of course, but you can
No, of
explain
course. Yeah,
that
yeah.
a little bit.
And it's what I call the trimming the fat. It was an opportunity
Right.
to trim some of the fat of, like, I'll always want to be busy. And so I would take clients on that maybe we had little personality conflicts, maybe there was an issue with billing and paying, or maybe whatever issues there were. Inviting people to my house, I got to kind of weed them out, and
Yeah.
and really bring people here who I liked, who I enjoyed being around, who
That's right.
didn't bring me any stress, like
Right.
stressing
Right. All
on
positive
on
energy.
collecting. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can't put a price tag on that.
That's right.
And
Right. And so now
and on top,
you run your own rules, right? I mean,
yeah,
Tito's rules
and,
now.
yeah, in Tito land.
Tito, right. Yeah, I can
So,
admire that. Hey, I appreciate that. I know what it's like to go out on my own and do things. And so I completely get it. And I think that there's folks on this webinar right now. I mean, I know there's folks on this webinar that probably have those same sentiments, right? Where they're having, whatever their issues are. Yeah, go ahead.
I think at first, when you're first starting out, I think that it's important to get your reps, right? And reps, I mean, you take everybody on. You don't
Right.
dismiss anybody. You take everybody on, and you learn and practice with every person that you train, and get as busy as you can, because that's reps and experience. And once you establish yourself enough that where you put in, 10,000 hours in, then you can start, picking and choosing.
That's right. That's right. Right. You had to earn where you're at. It didn't. The day you moved to LA and went to Gold's in Venice, you weren't just handed all these clients, right? I mean, that's
Absolutely
not how it
not.
worked, right?
No. There's, especially when we had like 60 trainers, right? We had 60 independent trainers at Gold's, and I come in on day one, and I was just, how am I going to start? And you start by that first person. You get that first person, and whether you got to give them an extra deal, to be able to get your reps and experience. And then people see you, especially on a platform like that at Gold's in Venice, they see you and they notice. And as they start
Right.
watching, people start seeing, oh, you know what, I want to train with that guy. And they'll approach
Right.
me, and that's how it started. And I would have 2 clients, and then I would have 3. And then people might be watching me train my client, and then they won't come up to me. They'll go up to my client after we're done, and they'll ask them questions. Well, how do you like him? How is he with you?
Yeah.
How is he expensive? Is it, and
right.
and so you learn from that, and you get as much experience and practice as you can.
So if somebody's opening up, they're looking to make this move too, right? They have a good situation where they're able to open their own garage gym. Maybe they have a few of their own clients, or maybe they need to gain some clients. What kind of recommendations would you give them on, maybe they have a couple clients, but they need a certain amount to hit their, their nut?
Yeah.
How would you advise them on maybe bringing in some more clients and trying to find some more clients for their home business?
Well, I think it starts with what you said before, and what I said about my horse blinders. Like, you take care of one client, they're going to go out and they're going to talk about it, right? And if you give them good results, they're going to go out and talk about it.
Okay.
And so you've got to treat each individual client as a potential of getting 5 more.
Okay.
Because
so the referral business works. Yeah.
It really does. It really does, especially here in LA. Again,
Sure.
I mean, you can be in Ohio, but I think people are going to talk no matter what. Oh, how did you get in such great shape? Oh, I have a trainer. And oh, really? Okay. What's his number? Right.
Yeah.
And
right.
And I haven't made business cards for almost 20 years, and people would come up to me and ask me for a business card. And I'd be like, yeah, I stopped making those in the 90s,
Right.
But that is the best. That's the best way, referral business, because they're,
That's a great
they're
point.
at it, and I think that you treat everybody with the same respect by, giving them your undivided attention. And again, and the end thing is the results. Are you getting people leaner? Are you getting people stronger? Are you getting them what they want?
That's right. That's right.
And then, you get somebody who's all hyped up and excited about training with you, and that's like a billboard on Sunset Boulevard.
That's right. That's right. And nowadays with social media, right? If I'm opening my gym in Ohio and I'm in a small town, maybe, and I have one client, but this client's getting crazy results and posting and things like that, there I go, right? Then I'm getting my referrals that way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great advice, and I know you're right on that, and so I appreciate that. Another thing I'd like to talk to you about is equipment. Okay, and there's nobody that's going to know it better than you, because you've been in a facility that gets the best equipment in the world. You've been around the best equipment in the world. You personally, as an ex-bodybuilder and still in crazy shape, equipment.
I do.
Is there a difference of getting, let's say I wanted to buy like a home piece of equipment that you can get on Amazon or whatever, to getting a commercial grade equipment?
Well, I think that like what I've always said, you get what you pay for, and that's 100%. You get what you pay for, whether it's food or equipment, right?
Right.
I don't want, a $5 steak. I'll take the $55 steak, right? And I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of it, and I'm gonna remember it. That crappy steak is not gonna go down well. Running on a treadmill that is like a home, version. It's not the same as running on a commercial grade treadmill, and that's just a treadmill. And we can go into other pieces of equipment, and it's the same. You notice and you feel a difference, especially when you're banging it, regularly. Because the home equipment usually breaks down if it gets regular use. Where commercial grade equipment is made to last a long time, made for hundreds of people to be on it, regularly. And And like I said,
And-
like, you get what you pay for, and that is kind of like, is also your brand. Like when you have somebody come into my garage and they see all my stuff and they're like, oh wow, you put some money into this. You know, yeah,
Right.
I put some money into this. You know, like you see the rack of dumbbells behind me.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the first things that I wanted. I wanted like industrial commercial grade dumbbells. I didn't want cheap loose
The
dumbbells.
sand, those ones with sand that fall apart and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, how about
you're absolutely
with
right.
the ones with the plates, and the plates get loose, and yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
pinch you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So
right.
it's real important that, you know, this is your brand, this is your business, and you want to represent it as good as you can. And if it takes a little bit more money investment, you're investing in yourself. So it's worth it.
Okay. Okay. Look, I completely agree with you, and we suggest that as well. But I think it comes better coming from somebody like you who uses them all the time and has clients on the equipment. You know, one thing that we also know that what our customers tell us is that they like that they get warranties too. You know, you get long warranties with these commercial grade equipment and stuff like that. And if something breaks down in a year from now, you get it replaced, right? We send you out the equipment, the parts that you need, and have it fixed for you. You know, so things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a blessing. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong.
Right.
Because what happens if your equipment's breaking down and shuts down? Your business is going to kind of suffer.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, okay, so those are all great things to know. I appreciate you telling me about that. But some other things that I'd like to get into is we've heard some of the positives. Have you had any kind of negative, or has it all been more basically positive, this experience now of the home gym? I mean, is there been any difficulties at all?
No, Mateo, you know, it's all been positive. And I hate to say that sometimes. I don't, you know, because I know that this year has been tough on a lot of people. And for me, it really was kind of like the best thing that could have happened. You know, I got to spend time with my two growing boys and my wife, because otherwise I was gone 10, 12 hours a day and really wasn't that much of a part of my kids' lives. And
Right.
being around, and even though I'm just, you know, out the door, I could go in between clients and check on them and talk to them and have a conversation, and they come back. And that to me is priceless.
It's such a great point. Such a great point. And I bet you there's a lot of folks that are on this webinar right now that have thought about that as well. Just like, man, you know, and we've learned a lot in this last year about being at home and how nice that is to be with loved ones. And, you know, we really put life in perspective, right, over the last year. So
100%.
I get it.
Yeah.
I completely get it now, you know, and I appreciate that. Okay, well, look, we're pretty soon here. Because we're running on time here, is that I'm going to ask you maybe another question or so that I have written down here. And then we're going to pass it on to Brent, our VP, and he's going to explain to him about our EC designs and other things. And then, I'd like you to hold on with us for our Q&A, because there's going to be some folks that I'm sure have some questions for you, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Is there any, and I'm putting you on the spot because I haven't prepped you on any of this thing, but is there any stories or anything that have been like, and obviously it can be an awesome story, any stories from your home gym that maybe none of us know that would be kind of fun? Maybe it was somebody that got results. Maybe it was something funny that happened. Maybe.
I have tons of stories. I mean, one thing that I definitely want to let you guys know is that, like, I every Saturday I would have a group of people. When we were at Gold's, I would have a group between 5 and 10 people outside of Gold, and we would just do a group workout, a fun group workout. And then when we were done, we'd run across the street down to the beach, jump in the ocean. And it was like a community building thing. Like, I would have a lot of my clients or former clients that, you know, just to bring everybody together and have a fun workout. I started doing some of those in my home here, but because it's, you know, it's really small in here, I can't fit 5 to 10 people. So we would go down around the corner. I have a dead end street, and I would bring a bunch of equipment down, and we would have like a normal Saturday, kind of to make it feel like it's almost normal. You know, some of the crew that was at Gold, they would come and we'd all get together, and for a couple hours we'd bang and crush a workout, and then, you know, jump into the pool. And
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was one of those things that kind of made me feel a little bit normal going through this pandemic. And I get the same, like those people that were part of that crew, they still send me pictures of, oh, remember this last year? Oh, remember this,
Right.
you know, training Saturday, crushing it. Yeah. And it's good because we got to kind of have something of normalcy through the pandemic.
Right. Oh, that's awesome,
And-
man. And I'm sure your clients love that. I mean, I can imagine how much that brought the camaraderie, and we needed that,
Yes.
right? That's the other
Yeah,
thing about working out and fitness and stuff. That's the only thing that kept us sane this last year. And so
Yeah.
anyway, that's awesome. I'm looking at my time now, and I'm going to have to pass on to Brent, but I want you to be ready for our
I will
Q&A
be.
that we have at the end. If you'd stay on there for me, please.
Yes, sir.
But I thank you for this, because this means a lot to me personally, because you're a friend, but also means a lot because we're really enjoying helping all these folks right now in this mentorship program that are in similar situation as you. You know, they want to get out on their own. Some are different. Some want to open their own studio, their own gym. But a lot of folks just said, hey, look, I want to downsize into something that I can personally manage, and I want to do it out of my home, which you did, and you've done it successfully. So thank you for that. And I look forward to hearing some of these questions, and I'll catch you in here in a few minutes. But I'm going to pass it on now to our VP, Mr. Brent Brown, who's going to go over some things like our ECE design. Thank you, Tito, and we'll be talking shortly.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tito, and really great conversation there. You know, I want to say two things real quick before we bring Brent in. One is that everything Tito went through today is going to be up on our YouTube channel as soon as this webinar is over, about an hour after, and we'll send a link out to everyone. So if there's anything that you want to hear again or you might have missed, you can see that on our YouTube channel. We'll put the recording of this entire webinar up. The other thing I wanted to mention is about asking questions. We've already had a number of questions come in from people who figured it out themselves. But if you look down at the bottom of your screen, or possibly at the top of your screen, depending on what device you're on, there's a little Q&A symbol. If you click it, you can type in a question and we will see it. And then we can go ahead and ask Tito or Matteo or Brent that question when we get to our Q&A section at the very end of this. So please send in your questions. You know, I think we'll be able to get to most people's depending on time. With that said, we want to bring in Brent now, and let's see here. Brent, can you hear me all right?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Great. Looks like we can see you as well. So Brent, you're obviously here to talk about our mentorship program. It's something Matteo mentioned, but I just want to lay it out there real quick. We also do a mentorship program. We have this webinar series and a mentorship program as well. One takes an hour. Each webinar takes about an hour. Mentorship program, something that is much more long-term. It's a much bigger investment of your time. It's not a huge investment of anything else because it's free. And the goal of this mentorship program is to walk people along the journey of starting their own gym. Got a little slide up there for it. You know, we, with this program, do a lot, which I'll let you cover. But it's something we're really excited about. We have had a number of people go through this mentorship program and take much closer steps to opening their own gym. And that's kind of the whole point, right? We're just trying to provide as many resources as we can to draw on our expertise and friends we have like Tito to help people, you know, accomplish a dream that they might have about starting their own fitness facility. So Brent, I'm gonna let you take it from there, but I just I have some questions I'll ask you. Maybe we can kind of approach explaining this program that way. This won't take too long, probably just about 10 minutes. First, maybe just give us, you know, your 2-sentence explanation. What is the mentorship program exactly?
Well, the mentorship really is a program. It's structured to bring aspiring fitness entrepreneurs with industry experts like Tito, like you for marketing, like me for running gyms. And it's designed to take people's startup and their ideas from a concept to reality. And usually they're in a kind of one-on-one setting. Sometimes it's two-on-one. We might have a couple people depending on the topic and the needs of the particular person doing the mentorship program. But we'll give you advice from anything from writing a business plan to designing a 3D floor plan, all the way to choosing equipment.
What is the mentorship, or who is mentorship program for?
Well, the mentorship program is really created for personal trainers, instructors, gym professionals of all types, like general managers, area managers. We've had people who've owned gyms that still come to the mentorship program because we keep them on task. We help with the business plans, certain things they're looking for. So, I mean, it's really created for anybody who wants to be in the fitness industry.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a personal trainer. And I just want to make this clear too. It's not just big box gyms or larger gyms. Mentorship program, we've had people come through who have started their own personal, garage gym. This program is we can tweak it to kind of work for anyone. Can you maybe give us some specific benefits of the program? What is it that people will leave with?
Well, I mentioned a couple of them before, and I think probably the biggest two is the business plan and the 3D floor plan. You walk away with quite a bit with that. I actually have an example of a 3D floor plan, and I'm gonna actually play it for you guys. So if you bear with me, I'm not the most amazing at getting these started. So, but I think I can do it. And then I'm gonna take you a couple options we have. One, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna start first because this meeting is set up for, actually, I don't think I started this quite the right way. I apologize.
It's hard to talk and do this at the same time, isn't it?
It is, especially for me. But you asked me to optimize it, and I think I forgot. But okay, so like we were saying, this particular webinar, we're focusing on trainers and opening your home gym with professional equipment and doing that. That's the focus. But we do obviously help anybody who wants to open any gym studio of any kind, and there's quite a few kinds we do. I mean, I can't tell you the number of different projects I'm working on, but this is, So this particular one is the home gym, and we basically.
Brett, sorry, don't mean to stop you there. I think the share failed. You might have to reshare it.
Oh, okay, let me see.
And while you're doing that, I just want to make clear what we're looking at is a program called EC Design, and it's a program built for the industry to design floor plans for fitness facilities. And this design that we're going to be showing, or that Brent's going to be walking us through, is what is similar to something that anyone in our program that goes through our mentorship program will get. This is something that usually you'd have to pay quite a bit of money for. But when you go through this program, we will work with you to design this. So we can see it now, Brent. So why don't you walk it through us with this?
Yeah, sure. So this one's pretty simple. It's a little easier because, I mean, obviously it's just a little bit of a house, not a great house. It's a 1-bedroom house, which doesn't really happen, but we just went through real fast. But let's go to the garage, and we can take somebody's garage. This is probably your typical 2-car garage size. This is a fairly low quality photo. When I'm done, you'll get pictures, you get a PDF with all the different angles. We do a really nice 4K walkthrough, so it's very easy to see. But you can see here, we've set this up with some pretty basic equipment: refrigerator, pull up, leg raise, dip. So I mean, just pretty much stuff. I mean, this is the stuff we selected for this. We have lots of equipment, so we would help you select the things that you feel best serves your clients. And I'm sure Tito would be an expert. He's got his own home gym, probably things that he's glad he has, things he wish he had that he doesn't have, or wish, however that works. But so this is pretty much the home gym.
Yeah. What is it that you'd want this for? What can you use a 3D model like this for?
Well, if somebody wants to send me the dimensions for a room in their house, or, you know, we're doing this for garage door, but I mean, somebody else might very well want to get like a 12 or 1500 square foot commercial space. And whatever space they have, we can draw it, we can put it together. We do this as a one-on-one design with the person. So, I mean, I get the basic concept down, but we'll have screen shares just like this, and we'll start placing equipment and doing design and things like that. So it pretty much helps the person's vision come alive. And then, you know, like I think we kind of talked about, you can share this with investors and with your clients and everything like that to get buy-in, get them excited, or just get yourself excited. As an example.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's something we want to emphasize. I mean, this is a really valuable tool for pitching investors. You know, trying to describe your vision of a business is one thing with your words, but when you can take a 4K 3D render of your gym and show that you have the entire thing planned out, and people who you're trying to convince to help you can see what it will look like, you know, it's pretty invaluable. And again, that's just one of the things that you get with this mentorship program. I know you have another gym that you've been working on, Brent, that you were going to show us. I think, is that this here?
Yeah, if you can see this one now, this is a project I'm working on. We don't always get to show, I mean, obviously people don't want us to show you their projects while we're doing it. So sometimes I work on kind of a special one so we can do demonstration. This is what I'm working on right now. It's really about midway through the project. And you can see here, it's a much bigger floor plan. We're talking about probably pushing 28,000 square feet, plus it has a mezzanine, so that gives it a few more. But this gives you a little, like I said, we showed you the garage gym. I mean, if you have better, bigger aspirations, or you're just, you've got the financing together and all that, and you want to go for a big box, then we can take you through that. And it's going to take me a second to get to the 3D rendition. And here you go. So this kind of shows you more of the whole thing. Like, this is a work in process. It's not done. So by the time we do our next webinar, and we'll do a fly through again, if you want to see what this looks like when it's completed, you can see I've got the free weight section over here. We got a boxing gym. We set it up with a cafe, kind of business office over here for sales and general manager, fitness manager, conference room for training and all that. Got a boxing gym. I heard Tito talking about he loves boxing. So we want to make sure and get one of those in here. Do some pretty fancy cardio theaters. And just so you guys know, I'm low quality right now. We can get quite high quality. It's just that we can't do this very effectively over the internet. If I'm doing that, we did upstairs. We've got a cardio section up here and a mezzanine. You see, we've got all of our spirit stuff in here. And when this is all done, the gym will be filled out. I'll put air ducts and tubing and fans and special lights and all sorts of things. It'll be a much different, and I'll have some good pictures to go along with it. So that's pretty much, it's pretty much the gym. Any question? I mean, and if anybody has any questions along the way, we can do that after. Is it okay?
Cool. Yep. Nope. I think that's great. I mean, again, we just wanted to give everyone an idea of what a 3D render that we can put together for them looks like. And that's something that we do for every person who goes through our mentorship program. Brent, how much does this program cost? I know it's free. Are there any, I just want to make it clear, we don't charge anything for this, right?
We don't charge anything. All of our advice, I mean, I see some of the questions you have coming up. We'll answer some of those later, but also, I mean, people will have a million questions along the way, and we have industry experts that have done this. I've opened up more, I mean, besides just my own gym, I've opened up 8 gyms myself, from finding the locations to everything. So that's part of it. We do have some add-ons, writing a business plan, get between 40 and 80 pages. So they can work with our in-house writer to get that written up. So there are some side things, like we can help you find software because we have a lot of experience with that. If you need it for marketing, finding clients, if you're a trainer, things like that. I mean, obviously we don't offer those. So those would be things you'll pay for along the way, but doesn't have anything to do with us. The services we offer are completely free. We just hope, and we'd really like to be the professional equipment vendor for our clients when we're done.
I guess maybe that brings us to our last question. How do people apply?
Well, when we're done with this webinar, people can go to the website where we have a sign up for a mentorship program, and you can go ahead and sign up for that. And then we'll send you a questionnaire to determine if you're a good fit for the program and make sure. We're really here to help anyone. So, it's not, we're not doing a big elimination process. We just make sure that we are what you're looking for.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll put the address or the URL for that website up right now. Actually, let me just pull that up.
Yeah, and before I finish up, if you don't mind, just for the last bit, I'd really like to thank Mateo and Tito for the interview. It was a great interview. If I was a trainer, this is some of the information that I would really want to know. We have probably our best participation for any of our webinars right now. So that's awesome. And just about everybody hung around. So, it's really good information. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool
It's
to see.
definitely Tito's looks, not mine.
Hey, so right here we have that address. It's spiritcommercialusa.com/mentorship, and we'll send this out in an email after this webinar as well. But that's how you can apply for the mentorship program. It's not anything rigorous, any huge form you have to fill out. It's really simple, and I love to have you. If you do have any other specific questions, maybe that we aren't able to get to here or that come up later, you can always email Brent at spiritcommercialfitness.com. Again, that will be in the email as well. So don't be afraid to reach out if you're not ready yet, maybe to apply for the program. If you want to ask a few more questions about it first, you can send him that email. But don't forget, you can also ask your question right now. And that actually brings us to the next, the final portion of this webinar, which is Q&A. So if you haven't already, please hit that Q&A button at the bottom or top of your screen. Give us your question. But we've already had, gosh, a lot come in today, and I'm going to start asking those right now. The first one comes from Jack. His question is, how do you address the professionality of a workout at your home versus at a neutral gym or even your own leased space? That's a great question. And I think probably that's one that we're going to, send straight to Tito. Did you hear that, Tito? Did you get that?
Yeah. Well, I think that it doesn't matter where you are. If you're a professional in what you do, you bring it with you, whether you're in a empty parking lot or on the beach or in your garage or at a huge gym. Your professionality is you. You bring that wherever you go. If you, depending on, it has to be more detailed, like depending on what kind of person that you're training. If you're training an athlete that's trying to get ready for, season, or if you're training a housewife that wants to lose, weight after having a baby. But that professionality, I don't know if I got the question right, but that professionality is in you, and you bring it wherever you go.
Yeah, I think, that makes a ton of sense, right? It really does depend on you. It doesn't matter where you're training people, but maybe this person also was thinking about, is there anything extra you can do in your home gym that will give clients a more professional impression? Like, what comes to my mind is like wearing obviously not wearing a uniform, but like, do you do anything extra?
Well, I do.
Okay.
So a little thing that I do is I have bottles of water that I have, set up on the counter for everybody to come and drink, and I have a refrigerator with some snacks, just in case somebody has low blood sugar, they didn't have enough to eat before, and I have like quick protein snack bars or whatever, something little like that, which it doesn't cost you much, but when you have somebody come in and they see that, that's another level.
Well, and
Absolutely.
Will, if I can jump in here, one thing I noticed right off the bat with Tito, and it doesn't surprise me because I know him so long, but is the cleanliness. Just the level of cleanliness of your place. Your place is tight. Those dumbbells are racked right. They're not all over the floor.
No, 100%. You know, there was one thing that when we were in a big gym that we would, you know, complain about is that the dumbbells were never in the right place, you know? And I took it to another level. My dumbbells are in the right place, but all the numbers are gonna stay the same so that they're parallel. That's a little extra that I put into it.
Hey, and that's one of the benefits again to having your own gym is
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about other people putting those numbers in the wrong direction.
Right?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
All right, great. That's a really good question. Another one, this one comes from Jess. Her question is, how do you market your business to the public for your home gym?
Oof. That's something I don't know if I could answer. I don't do any marketing, and like I said,
Yeah.
I think we talked about it before. My business
Yeah.
is more referral.
Uh-huh. Well,
One thing that I did do being home was that us being outside, because we're inside outside, people walk by and they see us training, and I've had tons of customers walk up my driveway and be like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And then I inform them what's going on.
Wow.
You know, I'm gonna
that's
jump
go ahead.
I'm gonna
Brent,
jump in
yeah.
a little bit if you don't mind. Just helping people in the mentorship program. We help a lot with this. So obviously Tito's idea, it's just like in the gym when you're showing everybody what you're doing and it's got a lot of energy and it's impressive. That always draws in clients. So doing stuff out in the sidewalk or out front. But you know, those are the close to home ones. Facebook right now is so inexpensive, and you can target like your neighborhood or within quarter mile of your house. You could pay $20 and reach about 6,000 people. That's a really interesting way to do it. There are now apps, depends on your area. I don't think there's one fits all, but it depends on your area. And we've helped people find these apps, and we suggest some that are a little bit more like Airbnb, where trainers get ratings and you find out about the trainers. Do they train at home or do you train them there? Or what gyms do they train? So this is a big question that we get from trainers, like, hey, if I leave my gym, how do I refill my bucket, right? So these are things we help throughout the mentorship program as well. There's tons of ways to market yourself.
Totally. And I guess I'll even add to that too. What we're hearing from Brent, from you and from Tito is, location is key. I mean, one benefit to having a gym in a neighborhood is you might be offering a service to people that, to people who weren't willing to drive 10 minutes away to go to, but because it's in their neighborhood and it's easy, they'll now take advantage of that. So starting in your immediate area is definitely something I think makes a lot of sense. Like in any business, and of course, social media is huge. Using paid ads on Facebook is a really low cost way to experiment that way. I should mention marketing your gym is a topic that we plan to address in an upcoming webinar. So it's important that you keep an eye out for these for emails that we send out. Keep an eye out for announcements we make online. And if you're not following us on social media, please do, because you will have a hard time missing any upcoming webinars we have. And like I said, marketing is definitely one we want to really dig into, because it's really one of the biggest questions we get. Another question also from Jess: how do you design your gym? How do you design your garage gym?
Is that for any one of us?
I think that's a good Tito question.
Let's start with Tito,
Okay.
since he just did it.
All right. Well, I designed it. It was funny because I've restructured it a couple times in the past year, just to make, because there's a slight angle in my garage. And the first 7-8 months, I was squatting with my left foot slightly below my right foot, right? And we're talking a fraction of a centimeter. And so I changed it to where my heels were slightly below my toes versus being left to right, because I actually noticed the difference. And so we had to restructure it. But some of the equipment was like, okay, this is so big that this is where it's going to go. It's the only place it's going to go. But some of the other stuff we can move around, like my rack of dumbbells behind me. It's a 7.5 foot rack. So there was only one place it could go. It was right there where it is. And then some of the other stuff, I just, manipulated as I was going on. And I think that now, after being, almost a year and a half, where it's going to stay right where it is now.
Another question that kind of adds to that, what is the minimum amount of equipment that you need to get started? How do you kind of figure that out?
Oh, it's no minimal amount. You can start off with like zero equipment. You use your body weight. If educate yourself on things that you can do, right? And you can manipulate your body and do a bunch of different things: walking lunges, stationary lunges, squats, push-ups, burpees, things that don't require equipment. And then I think that if you're going to start, you want to start, the first thing that I wanted was a barbell. And then now I have 5 barbells, different kinds of barbells. I have the dumbbells was a little later. I didn't get that until 6 or 7 months, because I first had the I forget what it's called, the block with the adjustable pin for the dumbbells. I had one of those things that it was like from 5 to 95 pounds. And it started to get wear on me, having to pull the pin out. I love the fact that it didn't require a lot of space, but I liked holding dumbbells in my hand. And if I wanted to do a drop set, and which is do one heavy set and then drop it, grab a lighter weight, drop it, grab another lighter weight, drop it. You do that a lot easier with dumbbells. So it all depends on what kind of training you plan on doing in your garage.
Yeah, and I'd like to jump in. Just designing a lot of gyms for a lot of different people, it also comes down to your training style. I mean, you could have a rig with a TRX hanging from it, and that might be a lot of what you need. Right. If you're into compound movements and powerlifting, maybe you just need a power rack and like a platform. But yeah, I mean, the other thing is, when you come out of a gym, you're used to having full lines of everything you need. If you're coming down to a 2-car garage or even a 1-car garage, you're looking for equipment that's going to offer you the most possible options. So a functional trainer would be a really good one. Good one. Like I had the leg chin pull up thing. It's compact. I mean, you can fit that in. That's a really good one. Having treadmills and all that's nice, but hey, you also have your outside neighborhood. So you have them do something. If you're doing interval training, have them go, do sprints up and down the sidewalks. I mean, there's a million ways to do it. And this is where the EC design helps. You let us know your style. We have tons of equipment. We play around with it. We work with it until we get something that it looks like you want. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Here's another question from Anna. It's about the mentorship programs. Matt, Mateo, and Brent, probably for you. Is the mentorship program a one-time deal? This person says they want to start with a home-based gym, but also have a goal of creating a studio in a commercial space. So they're wondering if it's possible for them to go through the mentorship program to help them get started in their home, and then maybe go through it again once they want to transition into a larger space.
Yes.
Mateo,
did you want to do something with that?
Well, I think that's just absolutely, we would help on them. We'd help them on that. We'd help them get started with their garage gym first. And, once we're going to find out a lot of things. Another thing that we didn't talk about is we also understand finances, finding investors, things like that. We have some companies that we work with, because a lot of people want to know, where do they start? Maybe a garage gym. Tito and I had talked about this prior, but Tito at one point was going to open up his own studio as well, but he looked into the finances of that. He's got a family, he's got all these things going on, and he stepped aside from that studio and said, hey, let's try the garage first. So that might be what some folks want to do, but other folks might qualify and have bigger ambitions, or have other folks that they want to go in on with, or things like that. And so either way, we'll work with you the first time for the garage gym. And of course, as soon as you want to segue into the next something bigger, Brent and I will be there for you, and we'll do the same. We'll give you the same level of service.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I right on that, Brent?
And one of the things I wanted to add that I didn't actually get to say earlier, and I probably should have. But we do get a lot of questions like, how long is the mentorship program? And the mentorship program, I mean, it depends on different people where you are on your project, but I would say the mentorship program lasts between 3 months and a year. I mean, and we're talking, there's a long process involved of writing the process, but I mean, even once you get the business plan and the EC design done, then you're talking to investors, working through an SBA loan. So 3 months to a year. But to answer the question more specifically, yes. So people might ask, like, why is a gym equipment company doing this program? Well, I mean, we are doing this program because we're building relationships, and that's what we want to do. And we feel that this is a good way for us to do business, is build relationships and partnerships. So in the sense of this, if you're opening your garage studio and you're ready to go to the next level, we're partners. We would love to grow with you. I mean, and so yes, we would definitely help you through the next level and the next level. If you know you're moving on to your 10th or 15th or 20th gym, yeah, I mean, that's us growing with you, and we'd be honored to do that.
Okay. So the answer is yes, absolutely. We want to help people as much as possible. Okay, here's another question. What about the flooring? What is it that you have at your gym, Tito?
I have these 4 by 6 foot, 3/4 inch rubber mats, and I have 9 of them. And it was a necessity because I had the concrete floors, and with you know, heavy weights on the ground, I didn't want to crack the floor. And this is perfect. I definitely recommend the 3/4 inch, you know, especially with you know, we do a lot of powerlifting and Olympic lifting, and so we drop in the weights on the ground. And these mats are perfect for them.
Okay. Another question, kind of related to that, but it's about, you know, paying for stuff. Do you have any recommendations for starting on a shoestring budget? You know, a lot of people probably that are starting your gym in this way, you know, they maybe don't have a ton of resources. What would be your advice?
Credit cards, you know, and you use your credit cards until you can't use them, right? You get a small business loan, you apply for one, and you know, again, you're investing in yourself. So, you know, take that risk, take that chance.
Yeah, Brent, I think you could, yeah.
That's just amazing advice right there. And I'll let Brent take this on. But I mean, with no prep, that was just amazing, because that's exactly what we would advise as well. Am I right, Brent?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously from the equipment standpoint, something I think people don't often think about, you know, you think about all this equipment and the cost, but it also, you package it together in a loan, and this is your business. I'm just saying, if you're working at a gym and you bring a lot of your clients home, and instead of the gym keeping 70% of it, you get to keep the 70% of it. You'd have to do the math, and that's one of the things we'll work through with you as well. Work through the math, see how much extra money you're bringing in, and once you know, you think of it like this: if you're financing a car, your payment might be $455, $600 a month. You don't have to pay for it all at once. You can finance it, and there's many different ways to finance it. And at $600 a month, if you're getting that extra 70%, you might find that's a really good deal for you. So I don't know if that completely answers the shoestring budget, though. I guess we're inflating your budget, but it's also, what equipment are you choosing? So that's also comes into your equipment selection. Obviously, there's some things that are more expensive than others. A treadmill, cardio equipment is the more expensive part of having a home gym if you feel you need that. And then there's other options that aren't quite so expensive. So that's part of the equipment selection process. We'll find out your budget, and we work together with you on that as well.
Okay. I think one more question that we're going to have time to get to. This one comes from Curtis. It's a great question. He asks, what tools do you use to keep notes, track progress, and set expectations on accountability?
Oh, okay. So I have a notebook for each client, and you go over and you log all their workouts. You know, you have their weights they use, how many reps they got with it. And that way this is something tangible they can turn and look at 3 months from now and say, wow, I started off and I remember when 135 pounds felt like 1,000 pounds. And now I'm doing it as a warm up, you know, and that's progress. And any little bit of progress you can show your client is going to be a step in the right direction. And that's something that I've done that for myself forever. And, you know, after a period of time, you know, you don't have to do it daily. You know, you can do it like once a week, you know what I mean? Or once a month for a week. And because it is repetition. It's basically, you do a lot of the same stuff over and over. So, you know, to show like progress in that way, it's really beneficial for you to show your clients.
I think that answers a lot of that first question that you had too, when people were asking about the different professionalism at home versus the gym. You didn't change that, you know,
right?
You still are tracking, you know, workouts and things like that. I mean, that's the professionalism that first, I don't know ever who asked that first question, but that's awesome that you do that.
And it's one of those things too that, you know, I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and that like I could see 8 clients, and at the end of my day, I could recall each one of their workouts, sets, reps, and weight, each one of them. And I don't know, like, it's something like a memory that like you remember somebody's phone number from 30 years ago. And it's like, you know, it's just one of those things that I've conditioned myself to be able to do. Because again, tracking during the workout might disrupt the workout and might take your focus off of the client. So if you could do it at the end, log it all down, right? Or sometimes I'll wait until the end of my day and do all of them.
So, and Will, I know Will's the timekeeper and he's wanting to wrap it up, but I saw a question that Jess asked that I'd really like to answer is, if the mentorship program is free, what do you pay for? Are you then required to buy equipment from Spirit Commercial Fitness? You're not required to pay for anything. We have no commitment. You don't have to do anything. We're helping you. We're hoping to building a relationship. Think of it like a waiter. You know, we help you with a lot. We do a lot of things for you. We have high quality equipment. We're a well-known brand. People of our stuff, and people get, especially people in our mentorship program, get preferred pricing. So, I mean, hopefully we'll give you every reason to want our equipment. So, but you are not required or obligated to buy it. We just hope you love us so much when you're done that there's nothing else you would do. So that's about it.
Yes, we don't send Tito after you.
Unless you're in LA, then maybe.
Yes.
All right. Well, was there anything else that you want to adjust, Brent, or you think we good to wrap here?
Yeah, no, I just want to thank everybody for joining our webinar, and especially Tito for being our guest for this one. It was a great interview and really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I'm really happy that you guys are doing something like this, because if you guys were around 30 years ago, who knows where I'd be right now.
Right. That's a good point. That's a good point.
And
Well, you've
I
done
really
pretty well
think
for
that-
yourself though, Tito.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I wouldn't change a thing.
But you are right though. Some folks, I mean, we're finding out a lot of folks from across the nation that, you know, that aren't in LA and have the similar, you know, situation as you, but are really benefiting from these EC designs, putting a business plan together. We have folks that are real eager, and they're young kids, and they're really ready to go, and they have all the things, but you know, maybe they didn't put that business plan together and they want to seek an investor. We just had, I mean, me and Brent and I just had great news today on a couple women that we've been coaching along in our mentorship program out of Texas that we helped them build the business plan, and then they were going to present it in front of their investor. Well, they just did that, and the investor's going to take them on, and they're excited. And this guy owns multiple gyms, and so they're going to be kind of a franchisee. So things like that. I mean, so it's really rewarding. And these guys are just like you, Tito. They're just great folks. They just want to help people. And so, yeah, it's really rewarding.
This is a great resource. Yeah, this is a great resource.
Yeah.
Hey, well, that's our goal. That is definitely our goal. And speaking of resources, we have a lot more of them online. on our social media accounts, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on our YouTube channel. That's something we've been investing a lot of time and energy into. We have quite a few videos up there now, all focused on helping people start their own fitness business. So please check us out when you have a second, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn as well. One more time, here is the website that you can sign up. You can use to sign up for the mentorship program. That's spiritcommercialusa.com/mentorship, spiritcommercialusa.com/mentorship. Please don't hesitate. Just there's a few things you got to fill out, and that's it. And we really would love to help you out a little bit more. But hopefully we've helped you out with this webinar as well. Thank you again for everyone who's stuck around with us, and for all the people who asked questions. Be sure to keep a lookout for the next webinars that we have coming up. And I think we'll leave it at that. You guys all have a nice rest of your day.
I want to say a last thing too.
Sure.
Please look for Tito online as well. You're going to send out some
Absolutely.
information about that, right, Will? So I want to find.
Yeah, you know, we
Tito.
already did, but I can go back to that
Okay, cool.
slide. Just 1 second. Oh, there we
Okay.
go.
And also, while he's finding that out, okay, you guys see Tito's Insta and his email and stuff. If you have questions for him, shoot him. But also, we never do this, but we better thank Will too, because Will never gets any credit. He's the one that's organized this whole webinar, and he keeps me and Brent in line, keeps all our the sound, the lighting, and all these great graphics and things. So thank you, Will.
Yeah. And Will didn't mention this. He's our marketing manager. So when we're doing the marketing webinar, he's really happy about that, because that's his thing.
That's right.
All right.
Absolutely. Hey, all right.
All right,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys. Hey, thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Tito.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Good to see you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
I'll be in touch, brother. Thank you, buddy.
All right, Mateo. All right, brother.
See ya.